Hi, I'm Scotty Roberts with Dead Reckoning, and you are watching Scared.
Welcome to another episode of Scared. Tonight, we're going to be investigating the East Bridgewater Town Hall, located in Massachusetts. A local legend points to all kinds of activity at this location. Now, with tonight's investigation, we're going to be working with members from the Green Mountain Paranormal Society, as well as some members from Bay State Paranormal. And our plan, divide and conquer. Will it be business as usual? Or perhaps there's something more? Turn off your lights, turn up your volume, get ready to be scared.
The lands that would become East Bridgewater were first settled by Europeans in 1630 as an outgrowth of the Plymouth and Dewberry plantations. It was part of the old Bridgewater as the East Parish, founded in 1723, until it officially separated from Bridgewater. East Bridgewater was incorporated on June 14, 1823. Its early economy was based on agriculture, but the community did have both grist and sawmills, iron forges, and tanneries. The real population expansion, however, followed the Second World War, and the town now has a heavily residential population. The East Bridgewater Town Hall was built around 1850 and was owned by the Hobart family. The first owner, Aaron Hobart, was a judge and only lived there for 3 or 4 years before his son, Aaron Jr., lived there. Like all the Hobart men, Mr. Hobart died in his home of heart failure on October 8, 1898. One of his sons, Edward, and his wife, Mabel, lived in the home until he died in 1938. The home stayed in the family until 1954, when one of the Hobart descendants sold the estate to the town for $25,000. The building is thought to be haunted to this day by Mrs. Hobart, with reports of activity, such as feeling a sudden gust of air, as if someone is walking by. Lights and office equipment turning off and on. And it is not uncommon that doorknobs will rattle, or strange noises are heard late night from the 3rd floor. While this building serves the town of East Bridgewater on a daily basis, do the Hobarts reclaim it as their home after dark? That's what the Scared crew is about to find out.
My name is Margaret Alexander, and I'm the East Bridgewater resident. I am a part-time genealogist and historian.
My name is Mike Markowitz, and I investigated this with East Bridgewater's Most Haunted. I also do a lot of quote-unquote freelance stuff.
I have heard that there are paranormal hotspots around. I have not seen them myself, but I have heard there are several.
Upstairs on the landing is a hot spot, and possibly the front foyer as well is a hot spot.
The elevator here in the town offices goes up and down on itself, and they've had doors open and shut.
I would definitely focus on the elevator because Dad has a lot of physicality associated with it. Machine working on its own with the help of paranormal.
What do I think about paranormal? I'm fascinated by it. I have not seen a ghost myself. I wouldn't mind seeing a ghost as long as it was friendly.
With over a dozen investigators, a variety of EMF detectors, audio recorders, thermometers, and surveillance cameras, we had the place fairly saturated with coverage. We didn't come here to play games, man. Tonight, we're going to start our investigation off with a guest psychic, Linda Marie from Bay State Paranormal.
Psychics are a valuable asset to our team because they offer information and insight, and we can use that information to help our investigation in other aspects.
Been here a very long time. He doesn't want to leave this building, and he doesn't stay in the same place. He moves about. He really likes to be where people are if he knows them, if he's familiar with them being here day after day. But new people like us, he tries to avoid. People see him in this building, and they think they're seeing a person, and they look again, and there's nobody there. This is an older man, 58, 59, somewhere in there when he died. He didn't die in this building. It was his heart attack, one heart attack.
We do know Aaron Hobart died of a heart attack. It could be his spirit Linda was sensing.
He was here a lot, and he had some problems with his property, with his land, and I feel like he had to come here for that reason. There was somebody here, a clerk or a judge or somebody he had to see, and this person made some kind of judgment against him, and it made his life very difficult. It stressed him out a lot. He feels that's what drove him to have a heart attack. He feels like if he wasn't so troubled, this wouldn't have happened to him.
Is he an angry spirit?
Angry, but not evil or anything. Just having a hard time getting over what happened to him. He can't seem to let go of that. So he's kind of hanging around the place that he feels is the source of his troubles. He's having a hard time with this because for quite a long time he didn't even know he was dead. He does know now. He didn't know for a long time. When he realized that must be what happened to me, he went right back to what he knew. I think he is in need of help. I think he just he's not very open to accepting that. I think the only way he's going to be helped or retrieved will be if someone on the other side related to him or connected to him may come back for him or might try to help him. That may be the only way.
Is he trying to speak with you?
No, not really. He's kind of backing away.
Linda picked up on the spirit of a woman who was supposedly murdered in the house, pushed down a flight of stairs and broke her neck.
This stairway is a definite hot spot. As soon as I walked into the building a little while ago, I was immediately drawn to the stairway. I definitely saw a woman falling down these stairs, and as I walked up the stairs, I felt her experience from the moment it started, and this was no accident. She was pushed.
Now, is this the spirit of the lady or an impression?
No, this is her. This is the spirit of her. She showed me that as she tried to walk away from him, they had a discussion. She was trying to get away. She stepped right on that stair there. He pushed her, stepped down 2 steps. She fell. She snapped her neck right about on the 8th step up, landed face down, and died immediately. And he backed up, stood about here, looked at what happens. He was someone nobody would question.
A judge, a clerk.
A powerful man, yes, and nobody would question him. And he did this for a reason. She was about to reveal something that could have got him in trouble or made him look bad somehow, and he was not going to have that. And when she threatened to do that, she wasn't doing it out of meanness. She was just saying, I can't help it. It's going to come out. Whatever it is, she couldn't hide. I really felt it was possibly a pregnancy. And he wanted her to be quiet, so he pushed her.
Does she want justice? Is she trying to name names? Trying to give a reason?
She did. She gave me an H and an A.
During her initial walkthrough, Linda kept picking up on the initials H and A, which could mean Aaron Hobart.
She said she was 3 months. She was 3 months along. She was early in her pregnancy, and this wasn't her husband. He was married. So she stays here, and I feel that she's gonna stay here until she feels that people know the truth and understand it.
We found no evidence of this actually happening in the Hobart home, but still, it gives me the chills to think about it.
Aw, man, Greg would get scared in the nursery.
It was just an outline of someone here, and as I walked towards it, I got a push right in the back.
Are they trying to hide, or are they trying to keep you away?
I think just have fun with us. Nothing, nothing too aggressive.
malicious.
Just, I'm here. Just a little bit of a, not a vicious push, but a little shove.
And that is the spirit, of course, because impressions
Yeah.
do not affect you that way.
Felt like someone kind of short, though.
Like a kid, like a child.
A baby, because it was someone shorter than me.
There was a child upstairs that I recorded. Not sure what he's saying. It's kind of mumbled, but you can absolutely tell it's a child. I picked up men, women, and children here, put it that way.
Now, let's see what Paul finds.
Now, as you know from previous investigations, I don't get told anything about the place that we enter until I get here.
I'm usually separated from the rest of the crew before and after the investigation because we really don't want my impressions to get tainted by what anyone else is saying.
There's nothing jumping out at me over here. But as I said before, I'm getting an image over almost everything. And actually it's under almost everything of a severed foot. Don't know why, but it was this side of the building. It wasn't that side of the building. It wasn't past the double doors.
I think Paul has a foot fetish. That explains that one.
I can't explain why I feel the things I do, or why sometimes some feelings are stronger than others. I don't really know how this works, and it doesn't always make sense the way that you think it should.
When we arrived here this evening, one of the first things that I noticed in the grassy area across the street from the parking lot, there was a very strong image of people fighting. And it was confusing because it seemed like it was from the Revolutionary War. People dressed in rags heard the clashing of steel, but it seemed like it was a lot more recent than that. It didn't seem like it was 300 years old. Not really sure. We are in Massachusetts, and as we all know, Massachusetts had a number of battles fought for the Revolution, for America's independence. Maybe that's something I'm picking up on. I can't tell you why it didn't seem as old as it should.
Although it had nothing to do with the building itself, I still couldn't shake the feeling of battles in the immediate vicinity.
I don't know why Paul is picking up on this, but reenactments do take place across the street.
This area is a lot warmer, and it cools off around here. Now, usually there are cold spots, and cold spots designate activity. This is the opposite, and I don't know why. I'm not getting any specific images. I don't like this. It's pain, is what it is. Not getting anything else, just the heaviness right here. It gets oppressive as you come over here, and then lightens up as you get away from this spot.
Paul usually picks up vibes from objects by touching them. At the town hall, though, this method wasn't working.
My psychometric ability isn't really that useful in a public place like the town hall. Since there are so many people that come in and go out on a daily basis, it's very difficult to single out any one particular feeling from an object. The more investigations that I go on, the more I'm able to tap into my psychic capability. Since I'm still learning how to harness my ability, I'm not 100%. But who is?
Yeah, let's talk about this room outside. There's a lot going on in there. It's a lot of fighting, a lot of arguing. Nothing specific, but it's just people yelling and barking and screaming and arguing, and I've got a headache. Mine sets up a defense sometimes. I didn't see the room, and well, that's why. Not a good room for me to be in. I keep getting the impression that This building was a manor of some sort before. It feels like they kept pieces of it, but parts feel very out of place. There's blood on these two windows. I'm getting a very intense tingling from here. Whoever is here is not making themselves known to me. But it's only when I was inside the room that I saw the blood on the windows. I don't like that room.
Like I said, this place felt like a Frankenstein. Half of it was brand new, half of it was built in like the 1850s. It's probably why I was getting so many mixed feelings.
Now it's time for the science portion of the investigation.
Oh, this is cool. It's like a courtroom.
Can ghosts be innocent or guilty? Brian and Brooke in the courtroom. If there are any spirits here that would like to contact us or talk to us, can you please come closer to our meters?
Court of East Bridgewater is now in session. All rise. As corny as that might sound, I mean, that was something that would have been said in here day after day after day, so it's part of the daily routine and still is. If anything did come here for any reason, it might need to feel that familiarity. And if anything, as far as residual hauntings go, if it was something that was a verdict, I mean, again, this is not a very large, no super important Supreme Court decisions were made here, but if it was something that, like you said, was a major turning point in someone's life, that could cause an imprint.
Right. When I reviewed my recordings from the courtroom, I caught something. Were you found guilty in this room of some crime? It was in direct response to my question. A male voice saying no.
I had a chance to review her audio as well, but I also compared it to the video we took.
Were you found guilty in this room of some crime?
At the same moment that she hears the sound, Chris is moving by the microphone with his camera, so I don't agree with Brooke's assumption.
I went down there earlier, and you might want to go down that end. There's definitely some feelings down that hallway.
Since this is where Linda felt a male presence, some members from Green Mountain Paranormal decided this would be a good place to start their search.
So this area back here is where she was talking about that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell me what the street name is that we're on right now? Or what this building's used for? What do you think of all these people running through here at night? It's kind of quiet time. Just wondering what your connection is with this area. This was part of your property. How much land did you have? This is your opportunity. You've got about 12 pairs of ears listening. Can you tell me what your favorite kind of food is, or things that you used to eat? Like, what'd you eat for breakfast? We're pretty open to hearing anything that you have to say of interest.
In addition to Green Mountain Paranormal and Bay State Paranormal, we also had EVP specialist Mike Markowitz with us. I gotta say, I was impressed with his audio setup.
It's actually a very basic system, but the microphones is the first order of business. But the sound card only goes up to 8,000 hertz. Human voices will go anywhere from 100 hertz up to maybe 5,000 hertz. So it does capture human voices okay. It does capture EVPs fine. It's just that there's a whole much more headroom that's missing out on recordings, but it's gonna even sound even better. You can, if you drop the pin, you'd hear it from across the room. You hear it clang on the floor. So a fine little nuance of energy that's coming in, which happens all the time. It makes up 99% of all the recordings that I have. These light, whispery, energy voices that come in. They sound like wind coming through the screen door. And you'll hear it, you know, all of a sudden, and it's gone. I've been studying EVPs for, I'm in my 6th season now, 6 years, and come across a lot of interesting results. You know, after you gather enough data, you gather enough evidence, you can now take a look at that and you can kind of start making some conclusion on what's going on. See how wide the noise is? That's like the heating system and all that, because the microphone's picking up the heating system a lot better than our ears are. So that's why you're getting this big space of people talking. And so if you can take that noise out, this recording, these lines that are right here will be hugging this line, nice and quiet. And then when you speak, you just get that nice clear audio signal. I've got thousands of recordings of EVPs now, so now I'm able to look at it as a body of evidence and examine it, because there's all kinds of things that are going on, but now you have something you can really look at and study.
Not all of us share the same views on the paranormal, but it's good that we can all come together and pool our resources to move towards a common goal.
Did it go off there?
Is that your stomach?
No. What was that? There's something over there.
It sounded like a man's voice just went, oh.
Yeah.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, but it sounded like it was right here.
It was like right.
What's the K2 doing? Nothing.
Wow. Can you do that again?
Keep it over there. There's something in that corner. Right in that area, right there.
I swear I heard
Mhm.
wow.
A little lower, a little lower. Might go off right around there. Oh, it did. Yeah, it's right there.
Hello.
Push down a little more, like an inch or two, right around there. There's a hot spot right there. He's looking right up at you.
Do you like me?
He's looking at your eyes. He
like
likes
my
your
eyes?
eyes.
Keeps going 0.1 back to 0, but I don't think much.
You are getting numbers on there though?
0.6.
Oh, there you go. 1.8, and then you're gonna get like a 2.4. He just doesn't really know how to relate to that yet, but he will in a moment.
My name is Charlene. Nice to meet you. You shake my hand. I don't bite.
He's just frightened. He's frightened.
Don't be afraid. I don't mean to be in your space.
I get an H, an O, an R, and an N or a T. I can't get his whole name.
There was a report of the elevator running on its own, but you need a key in order to operate it. You know, when the door would, the elevator opened up downstairs, when the elevator went down and it opened up, you know, the police were downstairs and they'd go and they'd look and the elevator's empty.
Yeah, so that's actually a little different than just random up and down of elevators, because there's nothing strange about an elevator going up and down on its own. Usually it goes to a set point. But if it went to a point that you needed a key to get to, that's
significant.
That's interesting. It's important to note that our friends at Green Mountain Paranormal did base readings when they first got to the location, so we know every area that is supposed to have readings and the areas that shouldn't have readings. So they say the activity was just focused on this elevator.
Movement of the elevator, yes. And I also believe that EVPs have been captured in and around the elevator area.
Definitely getting nothing. We're there.
Regular base readings, 0.4, 0.5, nothing too significant.
All right, here's something simple we haven't tried. Call yourself a scientist. Come on.
Concerning the elevator, despite what we were told, I didn't get any anomalous readings, nor did it move on its own. I can't say anything unusual happened. It's an elevator.
Brian's such a scientist.
I am.
It's kind of like a game and a puzzle for me. If we do experience anything, for me to try and troubleshoot.
And what did you guys experience up there? You know, audio and visually.
Rachel said that she saw a shadow moving, so we were both pretty much fixated on that area.
Okay.
And I saw like a flash, not like a camera flash, but like a twinkle. And it actually made me jump, and I didn't say anything. And then I asked her, I said, did you see the flash? And she said she saw it too.
No source then?
No.
You couldn't figure out
Just-
source. Okay, so you're in that corner, you kind of see shadows.
Right up here.
Oh,
Yeah,
up
just sort of like
Okay. Shadows dancing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Second floor hallway.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I see. How about any other? Okay, so that's pretty much
There's
it
a
for.
beeping up there too.
Okay, beeping from a computer.
Yeah.
And you can hear, I think it's a CB radio, because there was a man's voice talking. There were
Oh, really?
voices.
Okay, so you can hear
There's-
dispatch up there.
Yes.
To my left is the doorway that's in that section over there, and I thought I heard a noise like a knock
Coming from that back end.
coming from the hall over here.
That's the new extension, right?
Yeah, and I thought maybe somebody had chosen to go down that way, so I didn't really pay too much attention to it. I just took note of it.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought that I had actually heard on our way down. I thought I heard somebody walking down the hall that way.
Okay.
But it might have just been us moving, and you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
This looks like another meeting room. But of note, we have our Tascam set up to record EVPs out in the hallway. Also in this room we have some stationary cameras as well as motion detector. And that's set up so that if anything trips the field, of course that's rigged for home security, but we're using it in this fashion to, just increase our odds of catching something. Obviously everything we use was not made for the express purpose of detecting or finding ghosts, so you can't really rule out anything as being too mundane or too ridiculous, or why are you using that?
And when I first came up here, I kind of felt like there was something hiding out in the corner of the room, so I thought that this might be a good spot to try the motion sensor to see if it would trip.
I did not trip that. I'm standing over here. That just went off by itself.
In the meeting room on the second floor, I sensed a definite male presence. Perhaps he was trying to tell us something by setting off the motion detector.
Brooke, there's nobody in the hallway. It's empty, so it's not somebody walking past the window.
Right. And you weren't close enough to it to
I was
trip it,
standing
so-
right over here.
Yeah, so you're standing there again, you're not tripping it.
If it's tripping off by itself, there it goes again. We're just standing here in the middle of the room.
I know what it is.
What is it?
Camera.
Shadow.
What?
The shadow's doing it?
Okay. Now, just to verify that the sensitivity of the motion detector isn't tripped by shadows, we're going to shine a light over on the wall, and we'll show you that it's not shadows. Nope. It's not
Shadows
tripping
aren't doing
it. Not tripping it.
That's very odd. Just as I was saying that, I felt something in here too.
The motion detector kept going off without any rhyme or reason. We decided to run some tests to make sure that it wasn't our group tripping the sensor. We eliminated the obvious. It wasn't shadows, it wasn't a reflection from the window, and it wasn't a battery issue.
I mean, this could be something as simple as equipment malfunction. It is just machinery after all. It's electronics, so it can fail and start to act weirdly. But
I haven't heard it go off all night.
let me go see how far the range is. All right, here I am, standing right here. Once again, I'm standing far away from it, and I'm the axis of it is literally straight, perpendicular from that end of the room, straight across to that side. I'm over here, so even if it was one of those beams that went out and might be getting me over here, it's not getting me now. So, as I'm flailing around like a madman, that's not getting me.
Okay, hold on.
Oh, we didn't move. Although I felt like someone was in the room with us, I'd still need scientific evidence to back me up. So, we decided to do some EVP sessions to see if my intuition was correct.
Earlier in the evening, Linda from Bay State also sensed a male presence in the same area of the same room where Brooke said she felt something.
All right, it is April 19th, 2009 at 2:55 in the morning.
Is there anybody in here right now? Could you set off the motion detector again? I sense that you're afraid to come out and talk to us. We don't want you to be afraid of us. If you come closer to the meter, it'll make the numbers move.
It's very possible that something like this is a residual haunting and not intelligent, so we might not be able to communicate with it at all.
I was starting to feel a little nervous and shaky in there. Either he was afraid of us or he didn't want to communicate. I do feel like I either want to tap my fingers or... But I'm not getting... I don't have a connection with whatever it is that's doing this. It's not acknowledging me. It's not knowing that I'm here. It's not nervous because I'm here. It's just nervous. Now, Linda felt the same thing that I did. Not to mention the motion detector kept going off too. Are you going to tell me that was a coincidence?
Yeah, that is just a coincidence.
Could you give us some sign that you're here? Set off the motion sensor again. Give us a buzz on the EMF detectors.
We never did come to a definite conclusion regarding the motion detector. Oddly enough, we were the only group that had any such activity in that room. Now, is it paranormal? Well, while we wouldn't rule out that possibility, that's the last explanation we'd come to, not the first. I had a chance to review the audio collected by the other investigators. Now, I found a couple of interesting hits on there, but it's best if you decide for yourself.
What's that? What's that?
Now, while I find EVPs interesting, I don't feel that they alone can qualify a place as haunted. Sure, residual energy can be considered evidence, but it doesn't signify intelligence.
It's all subjective. You can have 5 people listen to the same recording, and each one hears something different, or nothing at all.
With the EVPs, it just kind of felt like this place was really active. Some interaction, a little bit of interaction, but most of it was just comings and goings of people's speech.
One of the big things is that back room over here. I didn't even notice it at first. I went in and all of a sudden my head started flipping out. So much anger, anxiety in there that I couldn't even stay in there. You know, and that's not a bunch of ghosts running around. That's just all of the emotions of whatever's been going on in there for however long it's been going on in there. It just builds up. There's no place for it to go.
It's kind of nice to have another group come in and corroborate the evidence that was previously gathered. It's basically the same conclusion to it, different forms.
We've gotten some pretty good EVP work so far. We have not even really looking into it, just scanning it. We've picked up a number of different sounds, a bunch of different impressions from several different investigators tonight.
As a whole, all of us have had an experience at the town hall, so I have to say that the town hall is haunted, but we still have a lot of evidence to go over.
I feel like the Bridgewater Town Hall is a pretty sterile environment as far as paranormal activity goes.
I have no feelings on the property. It's just another building to go through and try to debunk or understand why people are seeing or experiencing what they are.
It's the second time I've worked with Scared. First time I've worked with Bay State Paranormal Society, but it's really opened us up. Our group hasn't worked with psychics in the past, so we tend to be very scientific, and I really like the idea of working with other people as well as other ideas.
There is definitely a lot of activity in that building.
Enough people have had experiences here that make me think it's definitely possible this place is haunted.
There were quite a few personal experiences in the town hall that night, but as far as definitive evidence goes, I can't say we got anything conclusive.
My equipment wasn't showing anything, but yet my intuition was telling me that something was there. I don't know, maybe it just didn't want to be found.
Yeah, I'm skeptical about every place we go to. After so long, it's going to take something pretty drastic to convince me.
While I find EVPs interesting, without some supporting evidence to back it up, I'm not going to run and tell everyone that a place is haunted simply because I caught an EVP.
Of course, everyone's going to walk away with their own impressions from any investigation. I didn't experience anything that would make me believe there's activity at the town hall.
It could just be leftover energy from a common occurrence. Maybe someone there had their license revoked and was angry about it. Maybe someone got their car towed and had come to complain. None of this really points to something supernatural.
I believe everybody's haunted, every place is haunted. It's a matter of how much activity is being experienced by the person who was there.